to sculpt an eyeball, the way I go about it is I build solid. So I'm going to pretend like I'm building solid with this piece of clay, even though it's a bit of a tile. Our eyes are orbs, and our eyeballs are actually orbs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press in to give it myself the socket where my eye would exist. And then I'm going to make a ball of clay. That ball of clay gets set into my eyeball. Now I'm basing my eyeballs off of my own eyes, so they'll have more European features, but I always use a mirror when I am sculpting an eye so that I can continue to double check myself. Okay, so I put the ball in there and then I'm going to kind of press it in. Now you can use a fettling knife, or I'm using a paring knife. It's just sort of what I have found works for me in the studio. Now when you look at people's eyeballs, the important thing, what people often do, is they will have them really stick out, and our eyeballs don't bulge past our eyebrows, because our eyebrows are put there to protect our eyeballs from on our face. So one of the big things that I tell students is not to make your eyeball really, really bulgy. The other thing is that your eyelids hold your eyeballs into place. So you want to make sure that when you put your eyelids, let's put that up there, when you put your eyelids on there, that you are allowing them to cradle your eyeball. So I'm going to push this as if there's a nose sort of beginning over here, and the brow is going to begin up here. I'm going to kind of push things around. So what's nice about solid sculpting is that you can really push your clay around. Then I'm going to make a coil of clay and just make my first pass at an eyelid. So my first I'm going to do the upper eyelid. So I'm going to press that clay onto the upper eyelid right there. And then I'm going to take the side of my knife, or the side of your fettling knife, and I'm going to flatten it, because our eyelids are not super, super thick. And as I flatten it, I'm going to curve it around the eyeball, but I'm going to make sure that I am not blending it into the eye. And I'm going to use this side of my knife to make sure that there's still an undercut there, because your eyelid has folds. So I don't want to make it really smooth from here to here, because in general our eyelids are not that way. My eyelids are not that way. Just kind of pushing and pulling. And I look in a mirror because I want to make sure that I remember exactly what the shape of my eyelid is. So my eyelid is going to be it's a little flatter here, and then it kind of curves over here. But I'm going to keep playing with this. This is just the beginning. So I'm going to let that go down there. So then I want to make a coil to put underneath the bottom of the eye. The lower lid is important as well. So I'm going to stick that in there. So for me, and there's your tear duct, so I want to just kind of, again, press it, because it is also holding in your eye. My lower lid, you want to look in a mirror, my lower lid tucks underneath my upper lid. So I want to make sure I tuck it under there with my knife. And I'm thinning it out again, pressing it down. Now this is not, for me, this is still a little, it needs to be a little bit more lower lid than I've given it. And I'm going to use my knife to just tuck my eyeball back a little bit more. Make sure that I'm So when I look at my eyelid, my eye, this area here, it needs a little bit more eyelid. So I'm going to make a very small coil, and also it's going to tuck a little bit more in here. So I'm going to make a very small coil, and I'm going to just attach it there and bring it up. And since you're solid sculpting, everything is kind of at the same, all the clay is at the same moisture level. I'm not slipping or scoring, I'm just pressing on, just pressing it down. And I don't want to lose this curve, so I'm going to put a little bit more clay right there, so it curves up. Okay, so this is, you know, you have two lids. It sort of looks like an eye, but for me, what's important, I'm going to cut this off here. For me, what's important is on my eye, because I'm a little older, there's more sag up here. So I want to make sure that I put that sag. So I'm going to build up the brow bone. So I'm not going to put in eyebrows. I'm not going to make like little hairs or anything, but I'm just going to build this up because it needs to be a little bit more prominent overhanging of the eye. And then if I look at my eye, there's more in here. So I'm going to put a coil of clay. Like right now, this is very wide, and when I look in my eye, I can't actually see that much of the eyelid, but it's because I have some skin that comes and blocks my, or kind of hangs down and protects the eyelid. So I'm gonna press that down. I'm using a different kind of clay than I usually use. It's a little groggy, which is kind of nice. And then over here, there's also a little bit of clay that comes down here, so that I'll have right in here, so that I will have more of a shadow, but this skin comes up and over. This is not done yet, so when I look at my tear duct, there's going to be a little bit of a flap, a little skin right there where your tear duct is. I'm going to leave that for right now. I'm going to push it so my nose would be there. I'm going to undercut. I'm just going to press in here so I know that there isn't, that it's not smooth, that there's a fold. I'm going to come in here and push that back, and then I'm also going to push this a little bit, just push back the orb of the eye a little bit. You want to make sure that your eyes go back into your head, that they're not just sitting there, not that they're like really, you know, there's the high point, there's going to be a high point here, and then it's going to recede back here and here. I have lovely bags under my eyes, so I'm going to put a little bit more clay right in here, just to give it a little bit of age and character. Blend that in. Then I'm going to put just a hint of the tear duct a little coil of clay in there, and then I use the knife or the fettling knife because my fingers would not be dexterous enough to get in here. And then it's up to you how you want to do the eye, the pupil and the eye, the pupil of the eye, because I like to make a circle, like a hollow, and I don't add on. Some people like to draw it and then have a circle, but I just put, I'll just dig in, and I usually dig in up high by the eyelid, because if you put it right in the center, it will make your eye look like it's staring, which I don't really like. So I will use the pupils to talk about what direction the piece is looking in. Okay, so that's how you make an eye. Using a mirror is incredibly important because you often make assumptions about your eyes. And I'm basing this on my eye. As I said, my eye is different from yours. Up here, I'm going to have to tuck that in a little bit.